So, another season is nearly over for Nottingham Forest, and in this case, I actually think that's quite a good thing because I think a reset is what we need at this stage. It's been a very chaotic, hectic season, and one that I think kind of sums up this football club, really. Chaos. Utter chaos. I mean, there's not really ever been a dull moment. There's been something happening all the time, especially the second half of the season. I'm not saying let's sign another 34 players because that would just be idiotic, wouldn't it? So don't do that, Forest. This is my early look at what needs to happen this summer window. I will be doing many videos throughout the summer window, probably weekly transfer videos. This is the state of play before we even make a single transfer. We've got these players with their contracts expiring. You've got the 5 loanees, Reina, Montiel, Origi, Tavares, Ribeiro. I'd let all of them go, maybe besides Ribeiro. I think maybe you could give him a long-term deal despite the fact that he's played, I think, yeah, the least. He's actually probably looked the most lively or the most interesting, and I'm basing this off very, very, very small cameos. I don't know, I just like what I saw from him in the very few periods we have seen from him. Maybe it's worth keeping him, but the rest, see you later. You've got Hennessy, Cuarte and Felipe whose contracts are expiring, so that's that. Bolly, Wood and Aina, I presume they're going to stay. I've heard that Wood and Aina have already signed new deals according to the Telegraph a few weeks back now, so hopefully that is actually the case, but it's not official, I don't think. And same with Bolly, he hopefully will stay as well. So technically, the next graphic you see, he shouldn't be on it, but I'm going to say that he is. And how can I forget Harry Arter is indeed departing this summer window.
We cannot replace him. We cannot.
14 appearances for Nottingham Forest, a club legend, not played since 2021. Icon status. Players returning from loan, only some of them probably won't, i.e. Remo Freuler and Oro Mangala. I'd love to keep Mangala because it was criminal that we ever got rid of him. Obviously we had to. I know why we had to, but it's still annoying that we had to get rid of him. He's not going to stay. Be very surprised if he stays. Only ones coming back that are worth maybe keeping around or having a proper look at in pre-season. I think Nuno probably will want to have a look at some of these players regardless. I think definitely Aguilera and Richards. Aguilera, I think looking at our winger depth and then attacking midfield depth, he actually could play a fair bit the way it's looking right now. And then just because he's a great player anyway, I generally wouldn't mind it if Aguilera got the odd game here and there next season. Why not? Use the squad. It's youth. I don't think it's an issue playing youth from time to time. And Omar Richards, he's actually been playing quite a bit for Olympiacos now this season. He's signed 2 seasons ago, not made a single appearance for us. He is hopefully going to be able to at least play a pre-season match this summer, hopefully, for us. So we will actually see him in a Forest shirt finally. But there's been some debate about Harry Toffolo's ability. Is he worth keeping around? Is he up to it? I love Toffolo, but I could see reasons why maybe he isn't good enough. Wasn't very good against Chelsea. I mean, look at this. Look at that gap. I think I know why Chelsea scored their equaliser. Was that even an equaliser? No, it was the goal that won them the game, so even worse. But McKenna, Mbiso, Bola, their contracts are expiring. It's sad about McKenna, but we're going to have to let him go, really, aren't we? And then Wall, O'Brien, Dennis, Maiton, Hwang and Panzo are coming back from loan. So they will be here at the start of pre-season. Wall has an option to stay, and so does Panzo. They have the option to stay at Besiktas and Standard Liège. I don't think any of them are worth keeping around. Maybe Dennis, but I think you're clutching at straws, in my opinion, if you're keeping Dennis. So with the loans and contracts expired and presuming that the players that are coming back don't stay, this is what the squad is looking like going into next season. So let's break it down. Striker, I think we clearly need to address that. Awani is a brilliant, brilliant player. Scored some huge goals for us, but his legs are made of glass, so we can't always rely on him for that reason. So I think we need to get someone else. Chris Wood, been fantastic this season, but he has still showed his inconsistency. Even recently, he's been missing, well, sitters. There's no other word for it. And he's only going to get older as well. So I'd definitely keep Wood around, no doubt. But I think you do need to get into the striker. And Awani did actually say recently in an interview that he's not even sure about his future. So that's quite interesting. So I think a striker's got to be needed. We were saying this last summer and it still hasn't happened. Now the wings, this is interesting. You've got Hudson-Odoi and Alanga. Both of them have been great this season. I think Alanga's been a bit up and down. Hudson-Odoi has at times, but I think Hudson-Odoi has probably ended up being the one that we probably would say he's been ever so slightly better. Of course, Gibbs-White can play out wide. Dominguez even can play out wide. And obviously, we did play Divock Origi there too at times this season. Only, yeah, he wasn't good enough. And even Gio Reyna wasn't either. So you're going to need to replace Reyna, basically. So really, besides makeshift options, you are a bit thin on the wings. So I think a wing is needed. Midfield is fascinating because I think Danilo, Yates and Dominguez are great, but they all have their inconsistencies, and Dominguez could even be leaving. Sangara, this is probably the biggest talking point for some reason. Let's just say this, right? There's clearly a good player in Ibrahim Sangara. I'm not denying that, but he hasn't performed for Nottingham Forest. For the money we paid for him, that's not his fault that he cost that much money, but he cost that much money because of how well he did elsewhere. We thought we were getting a huge player, and we definitely haven't. And this might annoy some people, but I don't like his body language or attitude either. I just don't think it looks like a person that wants to be at the club either. I don't think he even really wanted to join us. So is that still playing a part? Is it just English football? I don't know. I just don't understand what's going on with him. It hasn't worked. We know that for sure. I want him to come good. I really do. I think he can. But I think it's unlikely. I think it's a ship that's sailed, in my opinion. So if that's the case, you're going to need to get a midfielder too. With Kuarte leaving as well, and we never actually replaced Mangala, we're going to need to probably get a midfielder anyway. But if one of Dominguez or Sangara leave, then definitely. We just need someone that can dictate the midfield. You know, I think Danilo and Dominguez together sometimes cancel each other out. Danilo and Yates are great together. I think they are kind of like the perfect sort of dynamic, but maybe not in terms of the quality. So you got like creative spark and then everything that Ryan Yates offers, but maybe Yates and Danilo together, it's not quite the quality we need. And yes, Mangala's not been good enough either. So you need someone that's like Mangala, but maybe even better than Mangala, to come in and partner one of them. Looking at fullback, it's interesting because you've got Nico, who's the only actual right back. Obviously, Aina can play there too, but Aina's going to be on the left most of the time. So for that reason, you're going to need to get another right back for sure. Montiel leaving, you got rid of Uriah, so you're going to need to get a right back. Obviously, Nico can play on the left, but Toffolo, some people are doubting his ability after that Chelsea game, and I can see why. He's been in and out player most of the season. He's been, I think, great most of the time that he has played, but that Chelsea game, he wasn't very good at all. So this is why I'd actually like to take a look at Omar Richards in pre-season, because if he can come in, it'll be like a new signing that isn't a new signing. You could just have Richards that comes back in and actually suddenly becomes a player for us rather than just this outcast. And then you can have Aina and Richards at left back, and then Williams and a new right back, and then you could always put Aina on the right when need be, Williams on the left, so you properly covered them. And centre back, Murillo could leave, so you're going to need to replace him for sure. If Bolly wasn't to be here, then yes, but even if those two are, Niakate is a bit up and down, even though I do like Niakate, I think he's up and down. And then Omar Baradeli, I think, is great, but him and Murillo together, even though they've done well together, I think the two of them together is a bit too inexperienced. You need, really exciting younger centre-back, and then someone that's been there and done it, like Willy Bolly. Now, if we were to sign another centre-back with Bolly and Murillo still both here, don't know what it means for Niakate or Omar Baradeli. One of them is going to probably get dropped out the team or sold even, which I don't want to happen. I'd like to keep all four of them. But I could see why someone would say get a centre-back. And then goalkeeper, I think Matt Sells has proven that he's good enough to be number one. Turner and Vlash, it's fascinating what's going to happen with these two, because they were both signed to be first choice goalkeepers, and one of them's ended up being third choice. Even if you get another backup goalkeeper, Turner's not going to want to suddenly be third choice. Vlachodimos isn't going to want to stay especially. So ideally, I think you sign a backup goalkeeper and then keep one of them as third choice, but I doubt either of them are going to want to do that. So I don't want to see us sign two goalkeepers again this summer, but I actually could see it happening, which is not ideal. I think definitely a striker, winger, right back, a midfielder are definitely needed. And then centre back, I think it's up for debate, probably should. And then a backup goalkeeper. So you're looking at like 6 players. We shouldn't be going any more than that. And then, like I say, if you are to like maybe integrate Richards into the team and even Aguilera, that they could be like new signings without actually signing them. What do you think, everyone? This is basically just my little overview of what the squad maybe should look like going into next season. This is what it does look like going into the season. It just kind of highlights the areas that need to be improved and strengthened. I'll be doing many videos throughout the summer about this, so yeah, please stay tuned to that if you want to see them. Please make sure you like and subscribe to Rads, and yeah, one more game left, Burnley this weekend. Just win, really. I just want us to see us get another win. That would be great to end the season with a win. Thanks for watching, everyone. Up the Reds.